You know that feeling when you just click with someone, that instant connection? Well, today we're going to dig into a really cool idea that connection isn't some kind of magic. It's actually more like architecture. It's something you can design and build, piece by piece. I mean, think about it. Why is that? You meet one person and it's like you've been friends for years, but then the very next conversation feels like, well, a total struggle. It turns out there's actually a blueprint behind those amazing, effortless connections. And today, we're gonna pull it apart and see how it works. So the first thing we gotta get our heads around is that these great connections don't just happen by accident. They're actually built on a foundation that you can learn. Seriously, it's not magic at all. It's a framework. It's a set of skills that anyone, and I mean anyone, can get good at.
So if you want to become an architect of these awesome conversations, you really only need to master 3 key things. Think of them like the main pillars holding up your entire structure. Once you get these down, you can start building stronger, better connections everywhere in your life.
Okay, let's lay down our first and honestly, our most important pillar, rapport. This is the concrete foundation that everything else gets built on. Without good rapport, any connection you try to build is just gonna be on shaky ground. So what is rapport really? Well, it's that feeling of being on the same wavelength with someone. It's when the conversation just flows. You feel like they get you, and there's this underlying sense of trust. It's that vibe that makes the whole thing feel real. But here's the thing, rapport isn't just some vague feeling. It's actually made of 3 distinct parts. First up, you've got mutual attention. You're both actually present and focused on each other. Then there are shared positive feelings, just a general sense of warmth and goodwill. And finally, there's synchronicity. That's when you start to subconsciously mirror each other's body language or tone. It's your brain's way of saying, hey, we're connected. This brings us perfectly to our second pillar, calibration. Now, if rapport is the foundation, think of calibration as the level you use while you're building. It's the skill of making those little adjustments in real time to keep everything balanced. Calibration is all about paying close attention. It's like a social feedback loop. When you said that last thing, did they lean in or did they kind of lean back and cross their arms? Did their voice get more energetic or did it get quiet? Noticing these little cues and then adjusting what you're doing, that is the absolute key to making that rapport even stronger. And this whole thing works in a constant cycle. It's simple, really. First, you just observe what's going on. Then you adjust. Maybe you notice they talk a little slower, so you slow your own pace down a bit. And finally, you reevaluate. Did that little change help? Did it make the connection feel better? And that loop just keeps going through the whole conversation. And that leads us to our third and final pillar, decoding communication styles. This is all about the big realization that not everyone's personal blueprint looks like yours. And if you want to build a strong bridge to someone, you've got to understand the design on their side of the gap. You see, a communication style is really just how someone naturally prefers to give and get information. And look, there's no right or wrong style, they're just different. The real skill is learning to spot those differences so you can avoid misunderstandings and build a much stronger connection. Let me give you a classic example. Some people are super task-oriented. They're all about the what. They just want to be efficient and get straight to the point. But other people are more relationship-oriented. For them, it's about the who. They need to build that connection before they get down to business. See the problem? If you jump right to business with a relationship person, it can feel cold. But if you spend too much time on small talk with a task person, they're just going to get impatient. The key is to see which style they're using and adapt. So there we have it, our 3 pillars, rapport, calibration, and styles. Now, let's put it all together and see what our final blueprint for connection looks like. If there is one thing you take away from all of this, please let it be this. Good, strong, memorable connections are not an accident. They are built. They are the result of an intentional process, and you are the architect. So here's how it all locks into place. Rapport is your foundation. Your job is to build that trust and synchronicity. Calibration is your feedback system. Your action is to constantly observe and adjust. And finally, styles, that informs your whole design. Your job is to adapt to how they communicate. This right here, this is your complete toolkit. When you really master these principles, you stop just hoping for good connections to happen. You start building them. You literally get the tools to construct a bridge of understanding to just about anyone you meet. So, I'm gonna leave you with this question. Now that you have this blueprint, think about a conversation or a relationship in your life that you'd like to make better. What connection are you going to build first?